Oh, we have started? Wow, sorry, I was busy doing a sport of my own today, and the sport is marking. Hence, I need some wristbands because I need some support for my wrist while I'm doing my marking. Now, jokes aside, I'm sure this whole week, or in fact the last couple of weeks, there's just this whole flurry of activities, and in the newspapers that we've been reading with all the reports from the Olympics. I'm sure not many people will really notice the English that's been used in these reports, or have you? So anyways, let me just point your eyes in the direction of using prepositions in sports reports today. So before we even get started on that, do you know what a preposition is? A preposition basically tells us about the relationship in space and in time. So for example, above, under, on, off, you get the idea. And also, it describes the relationship between or among people, places, and things. Now that we are clear of what a preposition is, let's move on to talk about some common prepositions which are used in the reporting of sports events. We'll look at some examples which will be found online so that you can actually look at these reports as well after this video clip if you're interested to find out more. So let's begin. Now, the very first preposition that we're going to look at today is against. Now, I'm sure when we talk about against, you'll notice that it's a preposition that's used very commonly when we talk about opponents in a particular sport or even competitions. So the very first thing that you need to identify in order to know, should this preposition that I'm looking for be against, is to look at whether there are two opponents in this particular sentence that we're looking at. Now let's take a look at this report on the Singapore ladies table tennis team in their fight for the bronze medal right now, and we'll see how against is actually used several times throughout the entire report. As you can see here, against is used every time we have two opponents who are facing off against each other. So in this very first instance, we have Yu Mengyu faced off against world number 8 Ai Fukuhara. So basically the two opponents are Yu Mengyu and Ai Fukuhara. In the next example, we have it again, against. And who are the two opponents this time? We have Feng Tianwei at the beginning, and we have Kasumi Ishikawa, who is at further end of the sentence. And finally, we can see over here, which talked about Singapore's Zhou Yihan and Yu Mengyu and how they are playing against the Japanese ladies Mima Ito and Ai Fukuhara. So basically, you can see over here, the word against is used every time when I have two opponents who are playing against each other. Let's go on to our second preposition today. So the second one that we're going to look at concerns the timing, alright, that an athlete clocks when he takes part in a competition. So very often we'll look at a report and the sentence will go something like Usain Bolt finished the competition 9.81 seconds. Now what is this missing preposition that I'm actually looking for? So if you actually notice that there's a word like finish or complete, and then after the blank where the preposition is supposed to be, there is a duration. For example, it could be an hour, it could be 2 minutes, it could be like what I said, 9.81 seconds, then it's likely that we're talking about a preposition of time which is in over here. Finish in 9.81 seconds. Looking at this report on Usain Bolt, who is still the world's fastest man, we can see over here this new record that he had set in the Olympics just a few days ago. Over here is written that he completed the 100 meters in 9.18 seconds. And more examples in this report, you will actually see at the bottom, we have the silver medalist and the bronze medalist who basically took the silver medal in 9.89 seconds and in 9.91. Now let's move on to our third preposition for today, which is finish with. So this is slightly different from the previous one that we have seen where we talked about duration. This one talks more about how something is completed. Over here in the report on Simone Biles, we can see that it's written finish with the highest individual scores. So you can see it is not about duration over here, but the description of her score. So the highest score. Other examples that you may see will be something like finish with a low score, finish with a high score, so on and so forth. Yes, now we are down to our final preposition, the fourth one. And this final preposition that we're talking about will be in history. Now, I'm sure other than competitions, any significant event that we are talking about, it will be something that will be remembered in history. Unfortunately, a lot of people actually make a mistake in their closed passages when they are filling in a word that's before the word history. They may use words like at, use words like of, or even use words like on history, which definitely are not correct. In this report over here that we have on Joseph's schooling, we can actually see how he had actually used in history while giving an interview by a reporter. So it's written here that he said, a guy that will go down in our history books. So go down in history. Remember, it's not of history, on history, or with history. It's go down in history. Alright, I hope that these 4 prepositions that we learned today and how they are often used in sports reports have been helpful to you. And in the upcoming reports that you actually read in the newspapers or even online, like the reports that I have used and shown you today, you'll be able to see more occurrences of all these prepositions and you'll be taking note of them because they will definitely be helpful when you are tackling the editing, the closed passages, and even the grammar close section in your papers. So all the best for your examinations and I'll see you very soon. Bye! If you like this video, you can actually leave us a comment below. Or you can also subscribe to our website or follow us on Facebook. So we'll see you very soon. Bye!